All right, so this is not my usual posting day, but then again, I think the news is pretty noteworthy enough for me to post at least post a reaction. Well, as of a day ago, I think it's August 27, Hee Jin quote unquote stepped down from Ador as CEO. Now, what will happen? She's not out of the company, but she has been moved into. But she is retained as a producer, as a producer for New Jeans. But there would be a new CEO for Adore, who is the HR person, Kim, if I'm not Kim Joo Hong, and she's a woman. Now, if you remember from my I do have my previous posts on this. Ador HYBE, the umbrella company that owns Ador, initially tried to have have the board meeting and fire Min Hee Jin. Then Min Hee Jin was able to get an injunction to to stop her from being fired. But people tend to forget that that injunction was only for 60 days. Second is that despite that injunction preventing her from being fired, her two deputies were removed. In exchange for that, three HYBE executives were put in place. So basically, Min Hee Jin kept her CEO status at that time for Ador, but her everybody under her, or the three board members under her, are HYBE people. So basically, that would already cut a lot of her leeway, or a lot of her flexibility in action, in doing things. But now that I guess what happened was, HYBE just waited for the injunction to lapse, and then with I guess with the added control, since they had additional three board members from HYBE, so it's basically more like a three against one situation in Ador, and she got her removed as CEO. Now, initially in the in I guess in Min Hee Jin's initial contract is that she has to do something criminal for HYBE to be able to remove her. But then again, she wasn't. I mean, to fire her actually. But in essence, she did get fired. She just, I guess, got moved to another position, which is purely going to be creative in nature, because what they're gonna be doing now for Adore is they're going to be splitting the business side from the creative side, which they did on all the other HYBE sub labels. So every sub label had the same structure except for Adore, when Min Hee Jin was both business side and creative side. When you're leading both business and creative side. So what HYBE is actually doing is just basically aligning Ador to the system which HYBE actually has. So with Kim Joo Hong, Juyon, I'm sorry, but the memory escapes me. But the new CEO will handle business side, and then there is Min Hee Jin as a producer. So, in essence, she'd still be doing, should still be creating new jeans, handling new jeans creatively. Now, the additional drama here is that after the statement by Ador, which by the way you might you notice that Ador is now, the way they would talk about, they would let out their media messages is now similar to the usual HYBE style. right after Ador releasing the news, Min Hee Jin stated that it wasn't that she didn't step down willingly, that it was something about breach. But then again, I guess if it was a breach, well, maybe she could should. I guess she could just file her case with the labor relations thing in Korea. But then again, that victory she got was just an injunction. It doesn't mean that she totally won that totally won that case. I mean, totally won, because she might have kept her position at that time, but she lost two of her deputies, and one of those deputies actually was the one who was embroiled in that sexual harassment case with a former employee, which is where it is now also gaining traction, since that former employee has now also released her statement in social media, and thus again debunking what Min Hee Jin was saying, that she handled things fairly. So that has also reached some backlash against her, and I'm not sure if that was one of the reasons HYBE used to get her out, but it is still out in the it's still currently out in the news. It's still currently out in the circles that that the girl or the woman who was supposedly sexually harassed is not backing down. So how does this basically affect Ador and ultimately New Jeans, since New Jeans is the only Ador talent? Well, technically speaking, it should not really hurt them that much, since they're currently on their comeback, and I think they have something in place already. So it should not matter for them in timeline wise. Also, for the New Jeans members, the contracts they actually signed with Ador is for 7 years. So they're just coming into their second year. So they have 5 years more to go. And people might think that maybe their Min Hee Jin might get them to leave, but definitely going to be a penalty if these 5 members decide to leave. Then again, since Min Hee Jin is a producer, but I mean, personally speaking, with her, I'm sure she didn't really do the music. I guess she had the concept, which at the end of the day isn't really that original anyway. The Y2K concept was never hers. She did get her ideas from existing 90s groups. So I think in terms of the musicality or the music direction, it's still going to be the same, because aside from her moving on down as a producer, I guess the team members within Ador is still there. Now, granted that their comeback isn't as spectacular or isn't as strong as their debut, but it is still pretty solid. So I guess it should not really affect New Jeans in terms of their timelines and their musicality, since it's Min Hee Jin, it's Min Hee Jin's idea, but there's other people doing it for her, and they're still there. So the thing is, Ador will just be like most of the HYBE under the HYBE umbrella, wherein business side is separate from artistic side, from the creative, which is actually a good thing, because there's going to be check and balances, unlike what happened with Min Hee Jin, right? She had total control and she was able to do all this. Another thing also is that the CEO is an HR person, so she would know how to handle at least people management, right? So that's something. And personally, it would really clip in terms of Min Hee Jin and all her shenanigans. This definitely clips her power. Actually, losing her two deputies already cut a lot of her power. Because there's people now, there are HYBE people now, HYBE people within Ador. But now that she is just the producer and not the CEO, now there's another HYBE person on top of her. And that is even a woman. Would you believe that Min Hee Jin was supposedly like a feminist supporter, but then again got debunked when the way she handled the sexual harassment case, and now she's under a woman. I'm sure it's going to be hurting her ego, being personalizing the narcissist that she is, and the woman to boot. And another thing also is that I'm not sure how she will, if she can do anything else, but since they're going to be separating creative from business, so that's also going to hurt a lot of her influence. So basically, she's just going to be focusing on new jeans, on music, image, right? And it's going to clip a lot of her power, since business side would handle, of course, the money. So that's one thing, and I think it's a good thing. Though my word of warning is that HYBE should still be careful, because she's still there. I mean, her shaman has disappeared, but then again, she's still there. And another thing that also hurts her is that she had this put option, which means that the shares given to her she can sell. So since I'm not sure if, I guess that put option is coterminous to her being CEO. So she lost that put option as well, losing apparently around $75 million worth of value in those shares, and she lost it. So I guess that would also hurt her if ever she plans to leave and set up her own label, because we should not forget that the money she was giving New Jeans, the money that she gave the parents of New Jeans, was HYBE money. I mean, yes, she earned it, but that's HYBE money. The money the clout, the media clout, and everything that she used, that's HYBE. That's HYBE connections. So if she's going to do it on her own, well, I guess she has to either get an investor, since that big chunk of money is not gonna be there anymore. So that's one thing. But I personally, I believe it's welcome news, because HYBE being HYBE, did have a plan working. And first off, they did lose the injunction, but everything else, I guess they were working behind the scenes, waiting for the injunction to pass, and then they were able to remove the two executives, gaining back control. Well, I guess it's also a lesson to HYBE that they gave a person too much, and that's what happened. Though I'm not sure if everybody acts like a Min Hee Jin, but then again, it should be a lesson to HYBE and Bang Si-hook. And at the same time, I think it's welcome news, since Ador, well, I guess, I'm not sure if they're still going, if it really gives stability, but then again, at least it puts Ador in the same structure as the other HYBE labels. So there's no special child anymore. So I guess it gives HYBE the same structure for everybody. And I hope New Jeans and the parents should also see that, should not be afraid if they're going to get, if they get mothballed, because it's a 7-year contract, and it is in HYBE's best interest that New Jeans make money and New Jeans get famous, because at the end of the day, or especially right now, since they were now able to control Ador, New Jeans is going to be their asset, and they have to make New Jeans work. And I'm sure it might be even more pressure for them to make New Jeans work, since now that they control Ador. So I guess for New Jeans fans, for Bunnies, it should not be it should they should not be afraid that they're going to get mothballed, or they're going to be, because now that they control Ador, now that HYBE controls Ador, they should make New Jeans work. It's business sense. They should make them work. They're all assets. So I personally think it's a welcome idea. At least that whole drama is all out. Because if Hee Jin strikes up any drama, there's the CEO on top of her, and she just handles creatives. So we would just see how good she really is in making a new concept, or making the comeback work. So I guess it's good. Then again, I just like to also show off my swag, my Enhypen swag. Basically, my first one of my first K-pop merch. So, of course, with since Enhypen's a label mate of Eyelet, so I just like to show this off for as well. But then again, I think it's welcome news. I think most of the people commenting about it also find that it's welcome news. So I do hope that with this, New Jeans gets to move forward, and the rest of HYBE gets to really firm up their assets, and it's hopefully it just goes back to the music without the drama. At least for HYBE, let's just push through with the music.